Assalamualaikum, Salamat Pagi, good morning, Namaste. Bapa Mantri, His Excellency Maman Abdurrahman, Bapa Vakil Mantri, His Excellency Nizar Patria, Dr. R.S. Sharma, my senior colleague and founder chairman of ONDC, my friend Ibu Shinta Kamdani, chairperson of Apindo, Dr. Ilham Habibi, chairperson of PII, my friend Pa Vikram Sinha, CEO of Indosat, Dr. Satwinder Singh, Deputy Secretary General of ASEAN, Mr. Suresh Sethi, MD and CEO of Protean, Mr. T. Koshi, founder CEO of ONDC, Siddharth Prakash from Google Cloud, Pa Primus, Pa Sachin, friends, Harold from ITA. I think we have heard very serious presentations, so I thought I will lighten up the mood a little bit. And I was thinking, everybody was talking of market. So I believe that what is true for commerce is also true for e-commerce, that you need market. And I will tell you a small story from one village in Indonesia. There was a sweet maker. He used to make sweets. And he had two sons who were quite useless. They would sit at home and eat his father's sweets, getting fat. So father was very unhappy with the two sons. So one day he said, okay, you need to earn your living. And he made two sets of sweets. One basket he filled with klepon. We all know what is klepon. And the other basket he filled with onde onde. And he said, you go out into the village and you sell the sweets. And until you sell every sweet, don't come back home. And if you're hungry, I give you 10,000 rupiah, you buy lunch somewhere. So the boys were quite useless, so they asked the father, what is the cost of each onde onde and each klepon? He said 10,000 rupiah. So they went out into the market in the village, and half a day passed in the sun, no buyers, nothing. They didn't know how to do marketing. So they started feeling hungry. So one brother asked the other, how much is your onde onde? He said 10,000. Okay, I have 10,000, give me one. So he bought it from the brother. And the other brother said, okay, how much is your klepon? So he bought it from the other. So they started buying from each other and giving each other 10,000. End of the day, one had eaten all the klepons, the other had eaten all the onde onde. And they came back very happy that we have sold all our sweets to each other, and told the father, we have even saved the 10,000 rupiah, we didn't buy lunch. The point I want to make is that unless you have a market, and if you only sell in your own, then you will never do wealth creation. You will never be able to create extra surpluses. I think the time has come, as Koshi said, that our MSMEs, our people who are producing goods and services in remote areas, they need a market. And I think ION and ONDC in India has done, and ION will do it in Indonesia. I hope that lightened up the mood of the room, but I want to just get into the bilateral context, why we have ION in Indonesia, and also what is the mandate that we are delivering on. Everywhere, in every forum, whether it is the G20, BRICS, the United Nations, everywhere people are talking of open networks. And I think when today is a very, very historic moment, it's not only a landmark for India-Indonesia ties, but I think it's a very defining moment for the Indonesian economy. We are at a cusp where we have to move from the traditional 5% growth that Indonesia has been registering to 8%. And we need leverages, we need some things to happen in the economy which will catapult Indonesia from the middle income trap. And I believe personally that ION could be one game changer for Indonesia. Second point which I wanted to make is that we are all reading about AI, and fears about AI are there, that many sections of the world will get excluded by AI. When that narrative is becoming strong, I think this narrative of an inclusive network makes people more comfortable, that there are people who are thinking about us, and there is an inclusive narrative, and people should join that inclusive narrative. So I believe today is a very, very momentous occasion, and with the support of the government, and in the form of the presence of the Minister of MSME and the Vakil Mantri of ComDG, I believe, and Apindo, of course, and everybody else, including what we heard from Pa Vikram, I think the support is there, and this could be the platform. When President Prabowo visited India last year in January, if you read the joint statement issued by Prime Minister Modi and President Prabowo, it said that the leaders affirmed their commitment to accelerate collaboration in the areas such as digital public infrastructure, digital B2B partnership, digital capacity building, and cybersecurity for inclusive growth and addressing global challenges. So I believe ION is a practical expression of that vision of our leaders, translating policy intent into real economic outcomes for MSMEs and citizens. This is not a cooperation between only governments, but the level of everyday commerce. It is inclusive, it is a people-to-people kind of a construct where people will join in, and I think technology has broken the barriers, and as we saw in T. Koshi's presentation, it allows customers to see sellers, and it is not broken down into platforms through walls which are impenetrable. As we all know, and I think our friend from Protean quite explicitly mentioned that India has been pushing DPI learnings across the globe. And we have tried very hard. And there was resistance, I still remember, for our G20, including in the Bali declaration and the New Delhi declaration. Advanced economies did not want mention of DPI in the G20 leaders declaration, but we persisted, and India and Indonesia led the way. And the G20, if I recall a few lines from the G20 leaders declaration of the Delhi declaration of 2023, it said that global DPI should be built on open standards and specifications. Open source software can enable delivery of services at societal scale. In the Rio Declaration of 2024, it spelled out the potential of digital and emerging technologies to reduce inequalities. Digital public infrastructure leads to an equitable digital transformation and bridge existing divides. Indonesia joined BRICS last year at the 11th BRICS Communications Ministers meeting in Brazil. It declared that India's DPI model built on open interoperable platforms serves as a catalyst for financial inclusion, good governance, and digital innovation, also guarding against monopolistic practices. Through ION, Indonesia is adopting these principles to its own institutions, market structure, and national priorities. India is pleased to share its experience as a collaborative partner, not as a one-size-fits-all model. The MSME-centric partnership of ION is very important. We always talk of India and Indonesia and MSCs. I was just looking up data about one country, and Pa Ilham, you will be aware of it. Germany. You know, we think that MSMEs are characteristics only of developing economies. I was looking up data on Germany. 99% businesses in Germany are MSMEs, Mittelstand. 53% of the workforce is in MSMEs. 55% of German GDP is from MSMEs. And more than 20% of German exports are from MSMEs. So Germany is the third largest export country in the world after China and the USA. I think German exports are about 1.5 trillion. So 20% of that comes from MSME. So a developed economy like Germany depends so much on MSMEs for economic production. So, you know, we can understand the importance developed countries give, and so why not developing countries such as India and Indonesia? And we should do everything that is possible to strengthen MSMEs, and I think Bapa Mantri, you will play a critical role in the development and rollout of ION. And if MSMEs join this platform, I think Indonesia will see great vibrancy in the economy and aspire to move from 5% to 8% growth. I believe that India and Indonesia are not just consumers of digital technology, we are co-creators of open digital infrastructure of the global south. So after India, I think India may have been the first to roll out an open architecture for digital commerce, But I am sure with the kind of support that we are seeing from everyone, that ION will be the fastest adopter, and we can move very, very fast in onboarding both buyers and sellers and provide an alternative to the existing platforms that operate in the digital commerce space. I thank you all for your attention, and I am very, very sure that few years down the line, we will look back on 5th February to see that, those who were there in this room today will remember that they played a small role, at least by their presence in the Indonesian Open Network. Thank you very much. Terima kasih banyak.
Thank you.